Good morning. Coffee with Karen. Create your own magic today, which is why I'm so glad I have this mug because if you today is a super moon and there's going to be, it's like a super moon. So apparently if there's going to be a lot of energy going on. Okay. I did a whole video yesterday to help people prepare for it today, which included specifics of what you might experience, a clearing, and an angel card reading. And so try to catch that. I think it's called Heads Up. It's important to prepare for the supermoon or something like that. Anyways, the card that was, well, I don't want to give it away. The card that was, it doesn't matter. Maybe you've already seen it. But the card that was pulled was a burst of magic. And I was so delighted. I was so delighted with that, with the supermoon. So like what we could expect from it. And then I've got this mug, so create your own magic. But a burst of magic. I mean, how does that not make you feel so good? Plus, just beautiful, right? And I think there was a lot of comments about a lotus. And I'm not really, I don't know names of flowers. But now that I'm seeing it, is that... People kept relating a lotus to Kamala. A burst of magic. Oh my gosh. Very cool. Which actually, I have so much to talk about today. But first, a little bit of housekeeping. Well, one thing of housekeeping. So I had a woman, she was, she's like, I don't mean to be mean, but when you drink coffee, it doesn't sound very pleasant to her, basically. And I'm like, wow, I really appreciate knowing that because I don't understand why my microphone picks up stuff like that so clearly. I don't have a microphone on here. It's just on my computer. So listen. Okay, so because I feel like I'm having coffee we're having coffee together. I should be able to drink coffee, but I don't want it to sound disgusting. Okay, ready? Okay, I can't even hear that, but she could hear it. Could you hear it? So the question is, one, does anybody know how I can prevent my microphone from picking up my voice, but picking up stuff like that? Two, if you didn't hear it and she did, that's magical because she's really in tune to something. Or she has incredible hearing. I don't know. But I literally could hardly hear myself swallow. How you would have heard that, I don't know. Okay, so I'm not going to drink any coffee this morning because until we get that issue resolved. Okay, so, oh my gosh. Yeah, so supermoon today, which may be like my husband for the first time in a long time has been coming home this week, like, not feeling it, like things are not, Plus, I think just with everything with the election, I don't think people are in a very good mood. But the one message, if you don't have time to read the how to prepare for the supermoon, especially today, like if you're going out the door today or you're just listening to this at work or something, just know the most important message was that the light vibration and the low vibration are what was the word they used? Are basically conflicting right now. So it's like they're clashing. Okay. So the higher vibration, which is most likely, well, everybody who finds themselves here are going to be of the higher vibration because you're responding to this channel because you have a higher vibration or you want to maintain it. That's the key, right? You want to maintain it. So the lower vibrations are and we can feel the lower vibrations when we hang out on channels that feel icky to us, right? So that would be the lower vibration. Or just like positive and the negative and the, you know what I mean. I don't want to go, I don't want to trigger anything and go into detail about that, but you know what I mean. So today, because of the supermoon, and it's bigger than just the supermoon, apparently there's some other energies around this supermoon. And in the supermoon video that I did, I linked to the video where I learned this. Okay. So there's these other energies around it that's making it the biggest energy burst than we've ever had, at least in our lifetimes. So what that means is that if you're out and about in the world today, just slow down, let people do them. Try not to respond to whatever is going on. Watch if you're feeling a lot of low vibration energy. Try your very, very hardest not to react. Give a big smile. Not a big smile, it'd be kind of condescending, but you know what I mean. Just try to have a smile inside and kind of float through and just, if you have to be out. So today, the November 15th is the supermoon day. So I think my husband has been feeling it. I think we've all been, if you've been feeling kind of icky this week, besides the stuff going on, I'm trying not to say that word, Election, because I don't know how that's getting bleeped, but, or tracked or whatever. So, not in a bad way, like not to be, I'm trying not to feel paranoid about stuff like that, but I want this community to just be able to talk about whatever we want and not have any big ears, if you know what I mean. So, or people subscribing because they're paying attention to stuff like that. That's actually what it really is. So yeah, so if you're out and about, it may be more than just that energy from the previous couple weeks. So that being said, the other thing I would recommend, and this is, you got to use this with caution, very much so. And I'm going to, it's starting to feel hopeful in terms of the results of the last couple weeks. If you listen to the intuitives, again, I'm sorry, but the intuitives, and I'm going to put myself in that category because I'm going to be honest with you. The SGs are saying the same thing, okay? I'm very leery about giving people false hopes because energy shifts, and that's what happened the first time. And it's not only energy shifts, it's just they're telling us, yes, this is going to happen. It's just not going to happen the way that you think it's going to happen. So check out Sterling. I put it in the community tab. There's a link in, you know how you every once in a while you get something from someone you follow and it's just like an image or a link to something. That's in the community tab of the channel. So that's where I put it. And so it'll end up in your feed. So Sterling is he's got we all have the direct connection, but he can hear it. Okay. And he hears it from a lot of ascended masters, and he's got this, he has developed the muscle. Okay. And he has helped the police with stuff. He has helped whatever. Anyways, he came on with a short video. It's like 8 minutes, which he doesn't normally, he called it a pop-up. And he doesn't normally do that as far as when I've been watching him. And he basically said that he's getting very, very clear messages of what exactly happened, and that he is going to, he didn't say he was going to be, he is putting himself out there to work with the FBI, to work with the CIA, to tell them what he knows from, how cool is that? So, he was all business. Like, he was like, yep, I'm for someone to say that, like, I have, basically he believes he has evidence from his guidance, and for him to say, he said, I'm willing to do this. And I don't know if he was like, if that was a message to the government, I don't have no idea. Or if he reaches out to them, I have no idea. But watch that, it was really good. Then if you also, all of a sudden, a couple of the other intuitives, mediums, or whatever that I listen to are all picking up on the same thing. So, and the last thing I'll say about that is the third week of November. If you check out Lee Harris Energies, love him. He also has a whole angelic team that he works with, and they're called the Z's. And he does an energy update every month. And so the November energy update included something in the third week of November that was going to be like an energy. He just said, aha, like an aha. And so I don't know, again, false hope. I don't want to create false hope. So if something were going to come of, I don't know, it'd be interesting to see what comes of light. And that could be just for us individually or collectively. I don't know. Maybe it's an individual thing. Maybe it's for anyone who just listened to that channel. And maybe that's an individual thing. I don't know. We'll see. Or if it's going to be collectively. Something's coming up. If it doesn't come up, I will be disappointed. There's no doubt. But I'm ready for it to not come up, if you know what I mean. And I think we need to be ready for both things, both outcomes. Because now I'm really understanding the lessons that we collectively are learning because of what's happening right now. It is very clear where the holes in our democracy are at risk. It is very clear, isn't it? How these things happened. So I think there's going to be so much that gets to get cleaned up that it doesn't hurt the democracy going forward. And we needed TR or 45 to, his sole contract was probably to shine light on all that, because he sure is shining light on a lot of stuff. If you've noticed, which is really, this is tying into what my title of this talk was, well, coffee was going to be, because this is what I woke up like, okay, this is what I have to share, because anyway, so yeah, so I do believe his sole contract was meant to dig up all this stuff. And so I did do a video a week ago, I think, that was like, maybe this is the reason it happened this way. And it was because what I was suspecting, and I actually did use the SGs and they were agreeing with me, that if it would have been the way that Democrats wanted it, then the issues would have been different. The issues we'd be talking about right now would be different. But because it's the 45, it feels like all the stuff that's been bubbling under the surface of the whole time the United States has been the United States is now out here. It's out. I mean, there are some people, and I don't want to talk about specifics because I don't want to be a downer. Because it's not important. But there are things I'm seeing, and if you don't want to see them, that's why I don't want to trigger people, because you don't need to see them. But there's things happening out there that it's like, oh, where did you come from? Like stuff that you'd be like, well, I knew people felt that way, but I didn't know you'd put it on a sign. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It feels awfully icky, but it's not a bad thing that it's out in the surface now. Now we know what we're dealing with. Now we know. Now the lower vibrations have crawled out of their holes. They've been there. It just occurred to me. The lower vibration has just been vibrating down here. Okay? Now the lower vibration has stuck its head up, and the higher vibrations can see clearly now. We can see clearly now. And that's really important. That is really important for our Constitution and for our democracy to survive. Really important. So I'm feeling hopeful for that respect too. So either way, I think eventually it's going to be hard, but either way, I think we're going to, well, the light always wins. And not wins, but the light always shines brighter. Let's put it that way. So, because here's the thing. I heard somebody say this the other day. I don't know what I was watching, but I heard in terms of the Constitution. The Constitution was founded by white men who owned slaves. So there are the Constitution, while it was amazing in terms of how they set up for a democratic society. It was also meant for white men. So the structures, the systems are meant for them. Okay? Because at that time, their mentality was that. Okay? And that's not good for our society if we are going to raise our vibrations high as a society, as a collective, in the United States, especially. I'm just talking about the United States right now. So that was a huge, like, aha for me. Also, I keep looking up like this. I don't know. You probably like, if you're watching me, why does she keep looking up? I don't know. It's because that's how I talk. That's how I think. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting, isn't it? So this then leads me, so all of these things are kind of leading me to the experience that I'm having about leaving the house. And I don't know, I'd be curious to know how you feel, because I think everybody who's finding themselves here are finding themselves here because we're highly in tuned with what's going on, okay? And highly sensitive to what's going on. So I wonder if other people are feeling this way, but this is my experience. So when I leave the house right now, so I'm basically like in the house, in this community, which is like so much fun to be in and so supportive, and everybody is just leaving beautiful comments, and you get to come here and read those and be like, oh, okay, these are my people, you know? And so, oh, there are people who are very positive and just, you know, hopeful and whatever. So, and then, so I go to the gym and then I come home, and like, then we went to Costco last night and I came home. But I'm telling you, every time I leave the house, it's very well, it's, if you're feeling a certain way, it's very well you. It's like, well, why are you feeling that way? But what I'm feeling is like, I don't know who I'm standing next to, and I want to know who I'm standing next to. You know, I'm looking at people like especially at Costco, and this might have to do with the supermoon too, so that's why we've got to be careful. Like, there are people who are completely oblivious. They have no idea what's going on, which I understand, because when I didn't have YouTube, and which is, you know, well, before I found YouTube, which is like in March of 2024, sorry, I never watched the news because I found it very negative. So I never watched the news. So I was never aware. Like, I probably would have been way more aware this time, but for whatever reason, I'm much more aware of everything that's going on than I ever was. And so, but like, there's a lot of people everybody's busy. You got families, and, you know, so a lot of people don't see some of the stuff that I'm seeing, or the energies and all that kind of stuff. So when I go out there, I'm like, well, okay, who doesn't know what's going on? Who does know what's going on and is just coming out, you know, popping their head out? Or who are the light workers? Like, who, you know, who can I smile at? And I should be able to smile at everybody, but who can I rely on a smile back? Let's just put it that way. So I'm sitting, I just am not feeling it at Costco yesterday. I'm just doing my thing, but I'm just not feeling it. Like, I actually feel anger bubbling up in me. Like, this is not to hurt anybody's feelings, but this is good for people to know. No, I'm not going to say it. But I'll process it this way. If you have an opinion about who might have voted for whom and why, when you see somebody who appears to fit that mold, then you just are like, you know, you get a little, and it's not true, right? Because first impressions, they're probably completely, you know, my nephew has a long beard and looks like somebody who might vote for 45. He looks like somebody who he is so far from it, so far from it. So we have to be really careful, you know what I mean? Because we have these impressions. And so, so there's probably people floating around there who are not feeling what I'm feeling because they just have no idea. And actually I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know. I'm trying to stay aware, but also stay in like the space they're in, like, you know. But anyway, so I'm standing in line at Costco. What time is it? How long have we been on? Okay, I'm going to try to make these like 20 minutes, but so maybe a couple minutes over. So I'm standing in line in Costco, and there's a woman who's speaking Spanish to the man at the cashier. And I love, especially because it's so fluent, I love listening to that. I love listening to any language, like if I go to another country and then hear the language, it's just beautiful. Because you can really hear the language without knowing what the words are. So anyway, so she had left her cart back by where my cart was, and her son was sitting there. So I'm unloading my cart, and he's just like this. He is smiling at me, and he's just he just kept waving at me. So he and I just had a conversation. We were just chatting. She was talking, he and I just had the most, he was like 3. So no, he was probably 2. So he was talking, but I didn't know what he was saying, put it that way. He was like, oh, I'm like, oh yeah, really? But he just kept waving at me. It's almost like I felt like he saw me. Like, oh, I'm a light worker too. Hi. So I was giggling and I just couldn't help myself. So I walked out of there feeling like, okay, all right. What a ray of sunshine. What of that's why we have to create our own magic, kind of comes back to this. Create our own magic. And where'd my burst of magic? This card is just so beautiful. This, a burst of magic. So a burst of magic is supposed to be coming out of the supermoon, at least for folks who, are of the light. So that's why we have to stay in the light. So that's the thing. Like if I did a card reading, like a clearing or whatever for people who were not vibrating higher, which actually might not be a bad idea, to be honest. I have to think about that. What would it be like? What kind of card would I get? Hopefully it would be this, because their burst of magic might be just a little different, but how beautiful is that to go off into your day? So just, be careful today with yourself. Be gentle. If you have time, do a little meditation. If you're going to the office and you have your own space, I know not everybody does. If you can sit back and just close your eyes for a few minutes, drive slower, calmly, let the people dart around you without it. Just get in the right lane and just put your calming music on and just relax. On the way home too, let people react how they're going to react. And, ask Archangel Michael to put a shield around you all day. That's a beautiful thing to do. He can put a big white shield or white light around you to help you stay relaxed. That's a wonderful thing to do. I don't know why I don't make that well, I have been recently making that a regular part of my, a regular part of my practice. If you're wondering what cards those were, they're these. They're just amazing. They're really, really pretty. So, I just love them. The energy around them is just so fantastic. Look at that. So here's one last one. Sacred Reverence. Look at that. That's just cool. Anyways, and it has numbers on it. See, I didn't even pay attention to the numbers yesterday when I did the supermoon reading. And then people, I think it was, 48? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 48, because I've been talking a lot about the 333s and my mom, and now my sister are convinced that she is like an equal partner in what we're doing here. There's no doubt. Just no doubt. Anyway, so we're seeing 3s in all different ways. So 48, people were commenting how 48 equals 12. If you divide, yeah, you're going to start putting it in the comments, I know, because I can never, so I know obviously 4 times 3 is 12, but so I'm not quite sure how to, if that's it, my sister said people were leaving a lot of comments about that. I just haven't had a chance to read them, which is awesome. I love that people are seeing that. And that because somebody helped me we were talking about this at coffee yesterday, because somebody said, oh yes, 7, which is the month my mom died, plus 4, which is the 4th of July, is 12, right? So then when you take 1 from the 12, 1 plus 2 equals 3. How cool is that? So the 3s are, and I think that's for the whole community. So if you start seeing, she was awfully quiet. Hi, come say hi before we leave. So if you start seeing threes or any other numbers, pay attention to those, but there's no doubt that Betsy, her name was Betsy Elizabeth. She didn't really like Betsy Elizabeth. There's no doubt that she is a part of this community. She is guiding. I mean, she's orchestrated this whole thing. We can just tell. So we're very, very excited about that. All right. Have an amazing day. And I will see you at Coffee for Karen tomorrow. Bye-bye.